Hello, good day friends. Welcome to the Enqueue Sports YouTube channel. Time for a quick discussion on the hiking shoes. Now, gone are the days when people used to go for these big and bulky hiking shoes. Even though these are still quite popular, but things have evolved with the passage of time. Now, what do people look for when they decide to go out for a hike or for a trail run? Obviously, they look for a lightweight shoe, a shoe with maximum ventilation, breathability, with maximum heel support, with maximum flexibility, and of course, the most important thing, traction. Now, there have evolved a lot of shoe brands over the past decade or so that have claimed to come up with all these required qualities. But one of the best brands right now in this business is Icebug. Now, this is an Icebug shoe. It is a Swedish brand from Sweden. A very amazingly formulated shoe, specifically formulated for trail running and for extreme conditions. Now, when we talk about extreme conditions, we mean snow, ice, we mean mud, or cross-country runs, trail running, under the blazing sun, under the freezing cold winter snow. So this is the shoe which you should go for in these conditions. It comes in a lot of variations which we are going to discuss in a while. This is a very popular Icebug model. Now, it is known as the Icebug Zeal2, and if we talk about it, we'll start from the upper. It is a synthetic mesh upper with a TPU bumper over here to protect it from mud or abrasion. Now, this top mesh or the upper mesh is not an ordinary mesh. It is an anti-abrasive mesh. So when the upper of your foot brushes with stones and the pebbles and all that stuff when you go for a hike or for a trail run, this shoe is going to withstand all that. On the contrary, if you wear running shoes, which a lot of people do to a hike or for a trail run, you will manage to run, but you never know, you'll just slip away and you might end up having a fatal injury. But I'll just show you an example. If you use a running shoe, this is a running shoe, even though it doesn't have a bad grip, but still you cannot compare it with the grip of this sort. This grip is known as a mud release grip. It really captures the ground, the surface, and does not allow you to slip. It gives you immaculate control. Whereas this running shoe, if you wear it for a hike or a trail run or to muddy or snowy conditions, you never know, it is going to lose grip, and eventually it is going to give you a very serious injury. This Icebug shoe, if you look at the sole, this sole is known as the RB9X sole. The RB9X sole is a specially formulated rubber compound technology by the Swedish brand Icebug, and they claim to have made it so durable and so soft that it can withstand all sorts of conditions and it cannot break away, unlike a lot of other hiking shoe brands. So it is a very durable shoe, a highly durable shoe, and a highly recommended shoe. The best part which I love about this shoe is that this flexibility in this mid arch area or mid foot area is not normally found in hiking shoes. Now, you really need it when you are climbing, because during climbing you just can't afford to keep your foot straight. You have to bend, twist and turn a lot, and this foot ticks all boxes. The best thing about this particular shoe, and I'm also going to show you another variation of the Icebug shoe here, which is known as Acceleratas 5 RB9X, a very Swedish name, and these two shoes look pretty much similar. The soles are slightly different. This is also an RB9X technology sole, but if you look, the sole is more of a tractor tire type. Now, what does a tractor tire do? It grips the ground in all sorts of conditions. So exactly, this is what this particular sole does. Another very exciting feature in these shoes are the heel to toe drop. The heel to toe drop in the Accelerita's 5RB9X is about 4 mm, which is very little, and it is I'd say it is minimal, and it gives this shoe a very light feel, and of course a lot of good quality ventilation. And on top of all that, this middle area, this midfoot area, has immaculate flexibility. You can literally flex this shoe and put it in your pocket, which is not the case in the traditional hiking shoes. So if you talk about the heel, it is a well cushioned heel, an absorbing heel with foam paddings which absorb and wick away the sweat in your foot, because you don't need sweat while hiking or cross country running, because if there is sweat, you're going to end up having blisters, and eventually you might slip and lose grip of the ground. Now the shoe is basically insulated from all sides, insulated from water, from sun, from all the harsh conditions. This one here, this is another model of the Icebug known as the Anima 4. A very good looking model. Looks pretty much like a running shoe. Slightly more bulkier as compared to the other two models discussed earlier, with a heel to toe drop of around 7 to 8 mm. If you look at the sole, it is an RB9X sole, of course, and it is a summer shoe basically. You'd love wearing it in the summers. In the winters, of course, you would for another variation made by Icebug, not a very popular variation, but that variation is known as the BU grip. So the BU grip soles are meant for, particularly meant for the winters. So this mud release surface would provide you excellent traction in all conditions, and combined with this composition, it is going to act as a wonderful running shoe, a wonderful cross-country shoe. If you compare Icebug with its competitors, for example, Mizuno, this is a Mizuno trail running shoe known as the Mizuno Hayate 2. So the sole is again a mud release sole. It is known as a carbon 9X sole. This is what Mizuno calls it, a carbon 9X sole. The carbon 9X or a carbon X sole is basically made up of carbide and a lot of X patterns drawn on the sole as well. Now a lot of people prefer these X patterns. A lot of people do not prefer these X patterns due to balance issues. But all in all, people who have tried this particular shoe are satisfied with it. But one thing which does not satisfy them is the upper, if they are looking for the traditional hiking expeditions, because the upper looks absolutely the same as an upper of a running shoe. So the rainwater and the snow and everything is going to soak up into this shoe, and you might not be as comfortable as you would be in an Icebug shoe, of course. So but now it's time to move on to an Adidas shoe, a hiking shoe by Adidas. Again, a mud release sole with very good traction qualities, bumpered midsole area. Of course, midsole area made up of EVA material, and the EVA is the material of choice in all the Icebug shoes as well, by the way, as well as this Mizuno shoe, because it is lightweight, and of course it gives you a lot of softness and comfort in your heel and arch area as well. The thing which is a drawback in this Adidas shoe is of course the sole. The sole is of course the upper part, the mesh part, because it can absorb rainwater and make your feet soaked in rain and wet and prone to injuries. So all in all, the shoe of choice, in my opinion, is of course any variation of Icebug RB9X, due to this excellent quality outsole which they claim will never get damaged, and of course the immaculate flexibility properties in this shoe, and all the things that have been discussed. So I hope that you liked it. You liked the information I shared with you today. Keep your feedbacks coming in, and follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and of course stay subscribed to hear more updates and get to hear and listen and watch a lot of exciting new material. So until the next time, goodbye.
Shot.